Hello and welcome to Exit Through the Gift Shop, the podcast where the rides might be over, but the opinions are just getting started.
We're Rob and Matt, theme park nerds, pop culture obsessives, and the duo behind It's Rob and Matt on YouTube.
Expect theme park news, Disney drama, Universal updates, pop culture chaos, and probably a few hot takes along the way as well.
So grab your overpriced churro
Join the virtual queue that you'll definitely miss.
and let's get into it.
Okay, so Magic Band's tapped and podcast loaded. Today, we're jumping into our Fast Pass to the news, getting into all of the upcoming attraction closures at Universal Orlando and Walt Disney World, and probably going off on a few random tangents along the way as well. Theme parks, pop culture, and whatever else we're obsessing over. So, welcome to episode 3.
Episode 3 already.
I know. Been mad, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a wild one this week, I feel, with stuff going on in the theme park world.
Well, there's loads going on at the moment, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm struggling to kind of keep up with
It does feel a little bit,
exactly what's going on.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
between bits going on in the UK and then stuff going on in Paris, and then we've got all the stuff going on in Orlando as well. It's just at the minute, it just feels like overload.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of content for us, but
Yeah.
it does feel like overload.
Yeah, very much so, I think. So should we get started with our Fast Pass to the news then?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so the first thing that I have seen and has taken my interest this week is that Disney Imagineering have filed a permit for an overhaul of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in Magic Kingdom.
Thank God for that.
I know, it's needed.
It absolutely is needed. I hate it.
I know you do.
It's nowhere near as good as the one in Paris. I hate the fact that you can't move the guns.
The guns do my head in. I'm shocking at. I mean, I'm not particularly good at it in Paris, but I'm shocking at it in Orlando.
I mean, it's an interactive dark ride, and anybody who's followed the channel for a while will know that I always complain about interactive dark rides. I've got no time for interactive dark rides. I really haven't.
Except Toy Story Mania
Yeah, but that's different, isn't it?
and Sesame Street Mission. You know that one too.
Yeah, the Toy Story Mania is like literally getting on a ride vehicle and then playing an arcade game.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's no scenery in there. There's no theming in there. There's no props. There's nothing.
I guess
It's all just screen based.
that's the difference where, like, if we compare it to Sesame Street Mission in Ventura, that's where that is different because there's both.
Yeah, it
I
is.
really like that.
Yeah, I quite like that one as well. But it's not my go-to. As in, like, I'll do it because it's there.
Yeah.
But if you gave me a dark ride and then you gave me an interactive dark ride, I'd pick the dark ride every time.
Yeah, I think I would too, if I'm honest. There are some interactive dark rides or rides that were interactive. Jewel at Alton Manor. Now, the Curse of Alton Manor.
Alton Towers, you mean?
What did I say? Alton Manor?
Alton Manor, yeah.
Oh, Alton Towers. I mean, what I meant. Yeah, Jewel at Alton Towers, which is now the Curse of Alton Manor.
Yeah.
We before it closed and was rethemed, we used to go on that ride, but not do the kind of shooting element of it. We just wanted to literally just the buttons and pretend they weren't there.
Leave the gun in the holster, if you will, and just ignore it and just look at this. I mean, in all fairness, they did ruin the theming in there when they put the zombies in. They absolutely destroyed it. But I used to just ride it as a dark ride.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like all the guns and stuff.
No. So
yeah, but anyway, going back to Space Ranger Spin, yeah, I'm glad that it's getting done.
Me too.
I hope they're going to bring it up to date a little bit more, as in like change all the theming in there and just kind of make it.
I hope we get some new animatronics in there, but I don't want the glowy face ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like Frozen Ever After.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you can anyway, because I don't think the guns would like it, would they?
No, probably not.
So
will we get some upgraded animatronics and stuff in there?
I hope so. I mean, if you're going to go for an overhaul of it, you might as well
do it well.
Might as well go and do it, and yeah, you might as well do it right and redo it. So yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to get some new technology in there. They're going to bring that up to date a little bit more and just kind of really do it.
Yeah, I hope so. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, so the next one we've got listed is Josh D'Amaro is the front runner to take over from Bob Iger, who when he retires again. Yeah, when he retires for the second time. The third time he's retiring, I don't know.
Second, I think. But yeah, he is. And out of all of the kind of people that were in the race for it, we had a suspicious feeling that he was going to be the one to get it anyway, because Disney Parks is the out of the whole company. Currently, Disney Parks is the entity that I believe is bringing in the most money for them.
Yeah.
It's the most profitable entity that they've got.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me that he's currently in charge of Disney Parks.
Yeah.
So for him then to take the rest of the company,
Disney
makes
Parks
sense.
Experiences, I believe, isn't it? So that includes the cruise lines as well.
Cruise lines, Hawaii, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
The resort in Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, news that came out this week that the rumor is that he's next in line. That's yet to be announced.
I think I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that. Out of all the people that were there, I'm happy with that.
I think I'm happy for Josh D'Amaro to take over next. I don't know that. I don't know the guy, but I mean, with the amount of time he spent, around the parks, things like that, I'd like to think that by him taking over the company, he will know and he's in best position to be able to take the company forward, especially from the theme park perspective.
It keeps me in good faith that we don't need to worry about the theme parks like we did when Bob Chapek was around. I'm not saying that, he's perfect, and I'm not saying that he's not going to do things to make money for the company, because it's a business at the end of the day.
Of course.
And the shareholders to please. But when Bob Chapek was around, but weirdly, wasn't Bob Chapek vice president of parks and experiences?
I think so.
Before he took over, before he became...
I'm not 100% sure. I don't stay up on the Disney board, if I'm honest. Exactly who's who and what's going on.
I'm pretty sure he was, because I was watching a TikTok the other day where he made a fool of himself at the opening of Cars Land, I think.
Oh.
Or no, Toy Story Land. He just made a complete fool of himself. So yeah, I say that, but actually this has happened before. So I don't know. I've got a little bit more faith.
I've got more faith in Josh D'Amaro. I think of anybody, I think I feel more confident in Josh D'Amaro take over, because he's due to not resign. He's due to retire again, isn't he, next year? 2026.
Yeah, early 2026.
So are we looking at the announcement for who's taking over at the end of this year?
Probably. Maybe it's that late.
It's 2025, November 2025. Is that when we're looking at the announcement, maybe?
Maybe.
If it's somebody else, I'll be very surprised.
I will too. I'll be very shocked.
You can come back here and comment on this, and I
feel like it's just
rub my nose in it if you want. Rub my nose in it if you want, but I'm very confident that Josh D'Amaro is going to get there.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, so moving on from Disney Parks over to Universal Orlando, it is very Orlando themed this week from what I've seen. The big things that have been coming out. Halloween Horror Nights tickets are now officially on sale.
Yay! Halloween Horror Nights tickets for 2025. Excellent. I can't wait.
We don't have a full... all the dates are now published. They're all on the Universal website. Prices range from $83 per night to $123. There are a range of passes available, and there are also some tours as well that are available this year too. So
when you say tours,
I don't have full details on those yet, because I don't think that the full information is out
yet.
But I'd imagine it'd be pretty much what they do every year. The behind the screens. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
There's a Halloween Horror Nights on Masked as well, or something, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All those extra kind of like VIP like packages that you can book.
Yeah.
I really want to do that behind the screens this year.
I would like to.
I really want to do it.
That's calling it the right thing.
I think so. Without checking all the documentation, without checking all the stuff. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. I really want to do that this year. So hopefully we'll be able to.
Hopefully.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it all comes out. But I also want to see the lineup of houses as well.
Yeah.
To see what they've got going on this year.
Because two of our friends did the tour last year, but there was a restriction last year, whereas usually you would get IP houses included in the tour. Whereas this year just gone, there was none.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. And usually the IP ones are the strongest houses.
Yeah.
They were.
They were, weren't they? You see, what I'd have liked last year is the VIP of the Ghostbusters. Like the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters were. That was so.
It wasn't particularly scary, but it was cool. I loved it.
Yeah, I did. The theming and stuff, it was just absolutely stellar. Yeah, it was. So if I was going to do that tour and I could pick a house, that's the house I'd pick.
Or I'd have picked Insidious.
Would you?
I really liked that.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I liked the house. I just think that from a theming perspective, I think the
I think the
the
Ghostbusters
golden
theme
one to
side is
do.
better.
It's very interesting that Universal didn't select that as a house to do. Why the one with the house with the best theming? Why is that not the one you do the VIP
I
on?
don't know, but there's a whole thing there with like I don't know if they claimed it was because of copyright or what, but they claim that you can't film inside the houses because of copyright. And if anybody knows the reason for this, let me know in the comments. Why can you film? You can't film in the houses in Orlando, but you can film in the same house in Hollywood. Anyone know what? It's copyright infringement of the. We were filming in the queue. We weren't even in there yet, and some bird decided to tell us off and told us it was copyright infringement of the Universal company.
I don't think it really is copyright.
I don't think it is.
I think they're just saying it's that so you don't do it.
Yeah.
To scare you not to do it. I think, if I'm being completely honest. We're used to not filming in houses anyway.
Yeah.
You can't film in houses here at Thorpe Park.
We knew we couldn't anyway, so we weren't going to. We were going to put the camera away before we got in there, weren't we?
Yeah.
So yeah. But if anybody does know the reason why you can in Orlando, you can't in Orlando, but you can in Hollywood, I'd actually love to know, just out of curiosity.
Matt's very upset with the lady telling him to put his in, which is why he's still talking about
it's a PA system. Embarrassing.
Wasn't a PA system, was it? Was it like a megaphone?
Yeah, the megaphone. That's the same thing. A whole queue could hear it.
I thought it was hilarious.
I was fuming. I wasn't even gonna. I was literally about to put the camera away, and she had to pipe up.
Yeah.
The dread, like I just wanted the ground to swallow me whole, and then the whole way around that house, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on because I'd just been told off. Wasn't that before the twins one?
I can't remember what house we were going into. Triplet show. I can't quite remember what house we were going into, but yeah, they're very strict on the old theming. But like I was saying, we're the theming and the filming. But like I was saying, we used to not filming in houses and stuff anyway here with Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, so it's not really a big thing.
No.
If I can
I'm
film,
just curious.
If I can film on ride or I can film in a house, then I see that as like this is extra. This is something cool I can do that I can't do at home.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the houses for this year have been announced already, but I think I don't want to go into full detail now because we haven't got all the houses yet. And I'd also like to do a podcast episode where we talk about the houses in more detail.
Yeah.
Talk about all the kind of tours that are available and what we're expecting to see. Some of the merch is already dropped, so that's kind of giving us a clue. There are a couple of IP houses that have been announced, but I'd actually like to talk about them in a bit more detail.
Well, that's good then, because I've not even looked at what's out.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I haven't.
I thought you'd be all over it.
No, I know something has been released already, but I kind of didn't want to look just yet, so I kind of haven't really done much of a look at it.
Okay.
So I don't really know what I'm talking about. So I need to look at it in more detail. But
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
fab. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of our Fast Pass to the News then for this week. It's been an interesting one. There's a lot going on. There's some quite big things there and some exciting things. There is 2 other pieces of news, but we're going to use those as the main kind of talking points for this episode, really, aren't we?
Yeah, because we've got a lot to say about both of them.
Yeah. I think. So, do you want to get started with our kind of first topic?
So the next piece of news that we've got is the closure of Rip Ride Rockit.
Yeah.
Now this isn't news. Like, we knew this was coming. We knew this was happening.
Yeah, we did. It's not like we're shocked.
No, not at all. Universal announced this and put permits in for its removal and replacement at the start of the year. So we knew at some point this year Rip Ride Rockit was going to be leaving the parks and we didn't get to ride it. And we didn't ride it last year when we were there. We didn't even try. Because it's not one of my favorites and I just don't particularly rate it as a coaster at all. But it's weird that I'm actually quite sad that we won't actually get to ride it.
Oh.
Because, so the reason why this is in this week's podcast is because they've just released the date that it will be closing. So that's
the official date's out now.
Yeah, so that's what's made it news. That's what's made it on the podcast. The actual date for it closing is actually been announced by Universal.
Yeah.
So that's exciting, I guess. But so we won't get to ride it this year because its actual closing date is August the 18th.
Yeah.
So it's actually closing for good a month before we're there. So it's not like we're just missing it. We are missing
No, we're missing it by a month.
So yeah, so August the 18th will be the last day that you can ride Rip Ride Rocket before they close it forever.
Mm.
I don't know. It's weird because it's not one of my favorites. I don't love it. And I'm actually quite sad.
Yeah.
I think I'm sad because we didn't ride it last year.
Okay.
And I thought we were going to get to ride it again this year as like our final time this year because I was going to make a thing of it.
Yeah.
And now actually it's closing before we go. So we're not actually going to get to ride it at all.
No. And I'm quite surprised by this because I thought they would do it after Halloween Horror Nights, because I feel like that ride and its positioning, it's taking something away from Halloween Horror Nights, which does kind of draw a crowd, because even when we were at Halloween Horror Nights, the queue for Rip Ride Rocket was still quite big.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the only attractions that was open.
Yeah.
So I'm quite surprised. There are other attractions open, but it's not the whole park. I'm quite surprised that Rip Ride Rocket is closing before, but I'm now wondering, and this has only just entered my head literally this second, has that happened because they don't have any other choice? Has it come so early because they don't have any other choice?
Well, there's a few thoughts here that's like running through my head. So Rip Ride Rocket is closing technically before Halloween starts,
Yeah.
before HHN starts. So they're taking a ride away.
I think it literally starts that weekend.
So they're taking a ride away with capacity away from the event before the event even actually gets going.
And if you've been to the event, you know capacity is a big thing.
Yeah. So they're pulling this ride out. Now, why would Universal pull this ride out before HHN starts? And obviously, you know, construction wall, board it all up and all that kind of thing. For me, I feel like they've got an idea of when they want their new ride, their new coaster open. And they've worked the timeline backwards and gone, oh, we've got to shut it by the 18th.
Yeah.
And someone else has gone, well, we need it for our HHN. And they've gone, well, if you want the new ride open at this date, it's got to be shut by this date.
Yeah.
So they've worked the timeline out as to how long it takes for a new ride to go in. And they've worked their timeline back, basically.
Maybe.
And that's why it's closing on the 18th. I can't see any other, I mean, obviously I don't understand. I don't know the mechanics of it. I don't know what kind of state it's in and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it just seems very weird to close it before Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, if anyone knows, if there's an actual reason, if anyone knows the actual reason as to why they are closing it, then am I right or not? Or is there another reason why it's being closed on that particular date?
Yeah. I feel like there's a reason, because I can't see, with how busy that park's going to be, from the middle of August when HHN starts to the end of October, I can't see how much work they're going to get done thinking about where that ride is positioned, because on Halloween Horror Nights nights, that park is open until 2 a.m. anyway. So it's not like they can do it through the night.
Well, what else is, yeah, exactly. But what else is quite, other thoughts you've got there as well, though. Like last year, you were queuing for houses underneath it.
Exactly. This is what I mean.
So unless they're going to reroute the queues for these houses, they can't do any construction or deconstruction there anyway. So, and it's an all year round park.
Yeah.
So are they closing it then and then just leaving it closed and doing nothing with it until the end of HHN and then starting work on it? Because technically the coaster is in the behind the scenes section, isn't it?
Technically.
It's backstage technically.
Yeah.
The coaster is backstage. So apart from where it comes out of the firehouse, it doesn't really go over any customer or guest pathways. And it's all, you know, back of house. But during HHN, back of house becomes front of house because of the queue lines. So again, it's a very interesting decision as to close it on the 18th of August and not run it through HHN. And then when HHN stops, then close it and start the work. So it
is one of the last remaining coasters of its type.
The X car.
The Marathon X car.
Yep.
So I'm not entirely sure how up to date this is, but I was doing some research and I believe that there are, after this closes, there are 5 X cars remaining, which isn't many.
Well,
it was a prototype.
Yeah, we had one in the UK, didn't we? We had one in the UK at Drayton Manor. It's exactly the same coaster type. by Mara, and it's an X car. And when these things were marketed, these were marketed as like the next, like amazing, most comfortable kind of coaster that you could get and all that. I think they were literally trying to take the industry by storm, and they did loads of research and stuff into, you know, having this bar that comes across you, and that being
Instead of an overhead restraint, as it was
Yeah.
at the time.
yeah, and that being the most comfortable way to hold people in, the best ride they're ever going to have. But I think it was just played with issues, and it's just never been a very, very comfortable ride at
No.
all, even though it was marketed as probably the most comfortable coaster.
Yeah, that's how they marketed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like the freedom of the body, your body can move in the way of the coaster and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I just don't think it ever really came off as that. I think it was just played with issues, played with not just, I think so much work went into the restraint system that not enough work went into the way the rest of the coaster operates and the way the rest of the coaster works. So yeah, we had one here in Drayton Manor that closed quite some years ago now and has been removed. According to your research.
Yeah, so this came from Coastopedia, which I've never used before.
Okay.
But I believe there are 5 left. So I think there's 2 in China, 1 in the Netherlands, 1 in Germany, and 1 in Italy.
Yeah, there is one in Italy. It's near Rome, I
I
think.
think it's in Rainbow Magic Land.
Yeah, that's it. It's a part near Rome.
Yeah, there's not a lot there.
Yeah.
Um,
Just this.
yeah, just the next car if you want to go and do that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the one in Germany is.
I don't know where the one in Germany is either, if I'm being completely honest.
And if I'm honest, I don't know where the one in the Netherlands is either.
I'm usually quite good at coasters. This is kind of my area.
Yeah.
I'm usually quite good at this, but I don't like X.
I don't like X cars enough to know.
It's information I don't need to retain about X cars, I'm afraid.
Not going to serve me any purpose.
No. But yeah, so the issues with Rip Ride Rocket for me have always been that from the first time we rode it, it's just been the roughest thing. It's not the roughest thing I've ever ridden.
It's just an unpleasant ride experience.
It's just not very nice.
No.
It's just not very nice. I don't think it's been very nice for a long time.
No.
I mean, we didn't.
G-Force was horrible at Drayton Manor.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't ride it anywhere near its opening.
No.
So it's been there for some years before we've ridden it for the first time. So maybe people who rode it on opening day or rode it in its first couple of years might say different and go, no, it used to be a great ride. Maybe it did. But my experience of it is awful.
I think for me, it's not necessarily about the feeling of the coaster. Like, I don't find it particularly rough. I've ridden rougher coasters. I think for me, the feeling of it's the feeling of the forces when you're on that ride. There's just something about it that I just find really unpleasant. And I think part of that comes from the restraint system. I think part of that comes from the way that maybe the track layout and probably the way in which because of how the train is designed, how the train moves.
Yeah.
But I just found it really unpleasant, and I was really gutted because I thought it was going to be a really good ride because it's quite highly regarded. It's quite like well known, not necessarily highly regarded, but it's quite well known as like what a good ride in Orlando. And yeah, I just didn't enjoy it.
No, I didn't either. I think the 2-3 times I've ridden it, I've not enjoyed any single one time that I've ridden it.
I think at least 2 to 3 I came off with a headache. So
yeah,
at that point I was like, no, I think I'm done with this. I mean, I ended up nicknaming it Rip Ride Rip It Out.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just not one that I really enjoyed. I think the experience when I first got on it, I didn't realize how heavy the restraint was going to be to pull down. And I remember the team member basically just being like, come on, pull harder, pull harder. And I was like, I don't understand what you want me to do. Like, it's really heavy. And then the thing where you pick the music was really unresponsive.
Yeah.
So that was stressful. Trying to pick a song before it timed out and you ended up with something really random. They were Windows phones, weren't they?
Windows phones in there.
Yeah, and no wonder they stopped working regularly, because that was a genius idea to put actual mobile phones in a tropical climate like Florida. So yeah, I think, how do you feel about it now that you know that it's actually going?
I'm upset that I'm not going to get to ride it and experience it one last time, but I'm happy it's going.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I'm happy that Universal have finally woken up and are taking it out, and I am looking forward to its replacement.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Me too. I think it's just going to be a case of waiting to see what they come out with for its replacement. Sorry, my brain had a moment. Waiting to see what it comes out with for its replacement. And have you heard any rumors about what might be coming?
Of course I have.
Go on.
Absolutely, I have. So, what could we be looking at there? Because the footprint is very thin, isn't it? Because it's between those sound stages.
Yeah.
I can't see them removing sound stages for it.
No.
The rumors going round are something themed to Ghostbusters, and we're getting something Ghostbuster themed back to the park, which I'm very excited for if that's the case.
Let's see that.
Because we've got the firehouse at the end. It already comes out of the firehouse and stuff like that. I mean, you can easily just put that back together, but it would be really nice to see Ghostbusters have some firm holding in the park.
Yeah.
The other thought is that it could be Fast and Furious.
No.
So how we're just having the one in Hollywood Drift.
Yeah. No, let's not do that.
Are we going to get an Orlando version, Orlando Drift or Florida Drift? So it could be that. Now, when I think about it, I think, well, Universal don't own Ghostbusters. They don't own the IP. So are they going to set themselves up to now theme a coaster and pay for an IP that they don't own? Or are they likely to put an IP in that they already own?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they've obviously already just opened Epic Universe now, and they've just had 2 Mac coasters going to Epic Universe. Have they got a deal with Mac? And
I did hear a rumor that they did.
Are Mac going to be supplying the new coaster
for I love a Mac coaster
for the studios? So is this kind of like a 3 coaster deal or something like that they've got going on? And is this going to be a Mac coaster going in here as well? Could we be seeing the first Striker coaster going into the US?
Maybe.
Obviously, we've got the Striker coaster already in Germany.
Yeah.
At Europa Park, Voltron. Yeah. Could we be seeing this new coaster type going into that? Because surely they're not going to do something like Velocicoaster, because they've just got that in the next one. And they've already got Stardust Racers.
Yeah.
So they're not going to put the same coaster type in there.
That's it.
But I do feel like it's going to be something that launches because they've got very, very little space in that area. So I can see it being something like a Striker coaster going in. I don't know. I don't know. My money's on something like a Striker coaster, I think.
Yeah.
At the minute. That's where I'm at. But when it comes to IPs and what they're going to theme it as, I think we're more likely to see the Fast and Furious going in there.
Oh, we've just got rid of one, haven't we?
Yeah, but the thing that goes against that is that I don't think the Fast and Furious fits there.
No, I don't either.
It doesn't fit in the location
in New York.
For me, theming wise, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
No.
And you'd probably then have to retheme the Ghostbuster Firehouse, and then you've obviously got the Ghostbusters, like the New York City Library is at the end, all fits into New York with Central Park. From that point of view, it's more likely to be Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're the thoughts.
I'm gonna keep that. My fingers crossed for that, because I don't want another Fast and Furious ride. I don't like the IP anymore. I think it's been overdone. I think we're done with it. So yeah, there's quite a lot to digest there with that Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah, there is.
I think.
Yeah, I've no idea how long we've been talking about that for, but it feels like a while.
I'm interested to see what they do with Halloween Horror Nights this year because of it, but we'll see, won't we? So yeah, let us know your thoughts. If you are excited about the concept of a new coaster, if you loved Rip Ride Rocket, let us know, because we didn't. So I'm quite interested to see if anybody actually did and really enjoyed it, or like you said, if it's a case of actually when it first went in, it rode really well. So moving on to our next topic for conversation then, sticking with the closures here. And this one is another announcement that came out this week. And obviously this is at time of filming this came out. But there were a number of attractions / parts of Frontierland that are going to be closing, and they're going to be closing a lot sooner than at least I thought. And they are Tom Sawyer Island, the Liberty Bell, which is the riverboat that goes around the rivers of America, And yeah, and part of the Rivers of America is going to be closing as well. So it's not something that we didn't know was coming. It was something that was brought up at D23.
Yeah, it wasn't that reaction hilarious. The reaction at D23 was so funny.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't want to go into the details, the reasons that they are deciding to retheme Frontierland. But it is something that came up at D23. They talked about it. They announced what they were going to be doing. They released a load of concept art. Now, it was announced this week that the attractions I just mentioned will close as of July 7th, 2025. So again, we will never get a chance to redo those.
No, that's come out of the blue, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting it to come this quick.
But when we were on our trip last year, we did take some time to ride it, and we did it all.
Honestly.
And we filmed it, and we did as much as we could with it, didn't we? Because we thought it was going to go, but I didn't actually think it was going to go before we went back again.
No, I didn't either, if I'm honest. I didn't think it was going to be this quick, like I said. It does seem very quick. It seems like a very quick decision. Not a quick decision. It seems like we're not giving you much notice of disclosure. They're giving you like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, which doesn't seem like very long to me. So they have, however, in announcing this, released some updated concept art for this area that basically details full plans for the land. I'm not going to call it, I don't think we can call it a Cars Land because it's still Frontierland. They're not suggesting that they are retheming the whole thing, but there is going to be kind of like a headlining attraction within Frontierland that is themed to cars, isn't there?
Yeah.
So what came out this week is the artwork for what we now know to be called Piston Peak, and it's going to be called Piston Peak National Park. So previously, do you remember the first artwork that came out and it was just like cars racing around like dirt tracks?
Yeah.
And there was no water to be seen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that the water has made a reappearance, but the water is different to how we know it today. So within the concept art that's come out, it seems like we're keeping part of the Rivers of America, but part of it is going. So you know the part down by Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
It looks to me like they're building a new pathway over towards Big Thunder Mountain that way, which is quite interesting because that can become quite bottlenecked around that area, can't it? So potentially that's a reason that they've decided to do that. But what they have come out with is quite interesting, I think. So they've announced that there is going to be a new character which has been created for this land. So this area, as I said, is based off kind of American national parks. That's the look that they're going for. And you can definitely see some of the influences with those in there as well. The new character, which is obviously themed to cars, is called Ranger J Autobahn Woodlaw. And it's a character that they've created. They've put him into the Cars format based off a character that appeared in some really old cartoons. I know that one of them was a Donald Duck cartoon, and it was a park ranger called Ranger Woodlaw, and he was seen kind of from the 50s onwards in various different Disney cartoons. So we do know that there's going to be one anchor attraction and one smaller add-on attraction. And Imagineers, this is what I find quite interesting, and I think that you're going to be quite excited about this based off conversations that we've had in previous episodes. Imagineers have said that they want this attraction to be unique to Magic Kingdom. So they're going to make these big links to American national parks, and there's going to be all of these different kind of nature-inspired areas within that attraction, but they want it to be unique to Magic Kingdom as opposed to it being a replica of any of the Cars ride that we already have.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on everything that's going on down there at the moment?
I still don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like this Pixar IP being in a Disney Classics park. I mean, is that just me being like a purist or something? I don't know. But I understand that things have got to change. I understand that things move on. I get all of that. I'm hoping that they do this well so it fits in. I'm sure they will, and it's going to fit in well. But I'm really struggling with it because I quite liked the riverboat, and I mean, I'm not going to talk about Tom Sawyer Island like I go there and it's a nostalgic thing for me. It's not. Never even been to Tom Sawyer Island.
No.
But
I wish we had now.
yeah, but even going to Paris all these years, that is Frontierland to me. Frontierland is Big Thunder Mountain with the beautiful riverboat going around it,
Yeah.
and that's just what it is to me. And when we first went to Disney World, I was like, "Oh, here it all is. Look,
Yeah.
it looks so amazing," and all this. And now we're going to lose all of that, and it's just worrying that kind of Disney look for Frontierland is going to go. So I don't know. I'm usually quite not massively open to change, but I can handle change. But this I'm really struggling with. This I just don't think I can. I just don't like it. I'm sure that when it's done, it will look great, and I'll go, oh, actually, no, it looks okay. I'm sure I will, because Imagineers do a great job, and it's not very often that Disney do something or the Imagineers do something, and I go, oh, this is awful. Once it's done, it usually fits.
Yeah.
They usually do a very good job. So I'm sure they will do a very good job of it. It's just me being no, don't change something so classic.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. I don't like it. I don't like what's coming, but I'm sure it'll be great. The other thing that I did worry about was the headliner attraction they're putting in there. I was concerned they were just going to take the Indiana Jones
Ride vehicle.
technology ride vehicle and just use that. But they have said they're not doing that, haven't they?
Yes. So it looks to me like it's somewhere between a cross between the Indiana Jones / dinosaur ride vehicle technology and Test Track.
Do we need that? Do we need Indiana Jones and Test Track merged together?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm hoping it's going to have dark ride sections and it's going to be a really awesome family dark ride. That's what I'm hoping for it.
Looking at it,
Just concerned about the whole like Frontierland, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all looks very beautiful and pretty. And then you've got these up to date, Lightning McQueen and these racing cars there.
yeah.
Which to me doesn't make sense.
Looking at it, I think there might be 1 or 2 dark ride sections. It looks as though, looking at the track, because if you look at the artwork, it looks like the track is that kind of yellow track, and it does look like a section of it potentially goes through like a cave, which is in the new mountain which they're building, which is going to have a waterfall coming off it. So I think that's going to be quite impressive, visually appealing. I'm really glad that we're not completely losing that body of water, because I think that was quite a big concern for me from I don't know, just an aesthetic point of view, and from I guess having areas of the park, because Magic Kingdom as a park itself is, if you compare it to Disneyland Paris, for example, it's smaller, but it's got more attractions.
Yeah.
So it can be, when I say Disneyland Paris, I mean Disneyland Park, it can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's very loud. It's very busy. It's probably the most popular park on Disney property.
Yeah.
And it can be quite easy to get overwhelmed. So I think to have those spaces where you're able to step away and kind of, I guess, take in some peace and quiet around areas like that, like bodies of water, etc., I think that's quite important. Because it is an intense park. There's no other way to describe it. It's an intense park. So I'm glad that we're not losing that completely, because that was quite a big concern
Yeah.
for me. And, there doesn't have to be a ride everywhere you look.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the pathways on the concept art, and you'll be able to walk in and around it, and it looks like there's water features and stuff in there, and
Yeah.
the ride section there. So, and when you look at it like that, you start to realize just how much land is actually there.
Yeah, you do. And I think you can kind of see where Frontierland as we know it is at the moment. And then they're kind of opening up this big space. And it looks like you said, you are going to be able to kind of walk into it and kind of walk around it. And it looks like there's some water. I can't think what they're actually called. There is a geographical name for geyser. There's a kind of geyser area. And it looks like there's one kind of big geyser, which might be some kind of like feature.
Yeah.
And there is also like I said, the pathway that goes over towards Big Thunder Mountain and Tiana's as well. But Tiana's is staying there. Country Bear Jamboree, from what I can see, is staying there. And that kind of Frontierland section there by Country Bear Jamboree, that's all staying the same. So it is quite interesting. There is also going to be a smaller, less thrilling, is what they're saying. So for younger guests, there's going to be like a smaller family style attraction that's going to be, I guess, like a supporting act for the headlining attraction.
Oz Flat Ride they've got in Paris.
Which one? The Mater one?
Yeah.
A really fun one that we did. I don't steal all around.
Around, yeah. I think they're called whips, aren't they, or something? I think I don't know who.
I don't think it is a whip, is
I
it?
don't know who manufactures them. Are they whips?
It's
or
like a whip without. So it's like alien swirling saucers without the whip element.
It's the same technology.
Yeah, so it's like you're sat in like a teacups, I guess,
Yeah.
but it spins round and kind of moves between all these different turntables.
Yeah.
I think there's one in Disneyland.
They've got a Baymax one, haven't they?
Yeah, no, that's a whip. That's the same as swirling saucers.
Is it?
I think there's a tractor one in Disneyland in Carsland, in Disneyland Resort.
Oh yeah, there is.
California.
Yeah, there is.
So potentially, yeah, maybe it'll be something like that. But what are your thoughts overall on the area? I know you just said that you're apprehensive.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. I'm sure it will be nice. Will it be better than what we've got? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. We're not going to know, are we?
No, we're not.
But am I happy about the Rivers of America going and the nice riverboat going? No, I'm not happy about that at all. It's very Instagrammable the way it is now. But like I said, there's a lot of land there to use. So maybe what they're going to do is actually going to be better. Maybe it will fit in perfectly with what they're doing. Maybe it won't be as carsy as what we all first thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like horrible cars thing just stuck in the middle of, the American West kind of a thing. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more, maybe it's taking a Cars theme or route, but it's not going to be cars in your face. Because that's what worries me.
I feel slightly better having seen the artwork that they've released now compared to what they originally released, which just looked like some kind of off-road dirt race.
Yeah, like this new character they've created, the way he looks a lot better
Yeah.
than what I was expecting. I was expecting these big red and yellow, blue race cars all over the place, and I was thinking, oh god.
I'm looking at the style of truck that he is. It almost looks like it's going to be like old-timey still.
From the era.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do with it now. I'm not going to say that I'm massively excited. The other thing that I've just been thinking about while we've been having this conversation is potentially it's also, let's be honest, how many guests, I mean, we've just admitted that we've never been to Tom Sawyer Island. How many other guests would hold their hands up and say, I've never been to Tom Sawyer Island?
Probably 90%. Probably 90%.
Not said that high.
Probably 90% of the guests that walk in there don't go to Tom Sawyer Island.
So there's Tom Sawyer Island, and I don't know the general attendance of that, but from what I've seen when we've been there, it's not very high.
No.
And there's never a queue for the Liberty Bell.
It just looks pretty.
It's rare.
It just looks nice.
Yeah. It's rare that there's a queue for the Liberty Bell. So from that point of view, one, they're paying cast members to ferry people to and from Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah.
And also they're constantly running the Liberty Bell, which I can imagine isn't cheap.
Yeah.
To run a steam engine like that. But also Magic Kingdom does tend to have a bit of a ride queue problem on certain attractions. For example, Peter Pan, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is really difficult, especially if you're just doing a standby line. It's really difficult to find the time to hit that perfectly without it being like an hour and a half, 2 hour wait. So maybe this is going to aid crowd levels, because it's another attraction to take up guests, whereas that space at the moment isn't really doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a big driving force behind the decision, as well as them wanting to create a culturally acceptable area, which is obviously what they're aiming to do with deciding to retheme this area, I think. So yeah, any closing thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I think I've said enough at the moment. Okay. From what I've seen so far, I don't think there's anything else left for me to say.
Yeah, we will continue to follow it, and we'll continue to just keep up with the plans.
We've not had an opening date for this yet, have we?
So no.
We've not had a target date for when this is going to be, because the one thing I'm thinking now is when we go back this year is going to be construction walls all over the place and cranes.
So I was just about to say,
well, yeah,
I do have one little closing thought actually. I really hope this isn't going to take long, because Big Thunder Mountain is closed until 2026.
Yes, and I've been
scaffolding all over that. I saw a video the other day where it's literally just scaffolding everywhere. They've started to put new track in. I'm really hoping that we're going to get a photo opportunity within that. But yeah, there's going to be no Big Thunder Mountain, and you've already got a construction area there. How long are we going to then have this large part of Frontierland with construction walls up, because like I just said, Magic Kingdom's it's probably the most popular park on Disney property. How long are we going to have these construction walls up for that are taking up a massive chunk of Magic Kingdom?
I think it's the most popular park in the world, actually.
Yeah.
Most visited theme park in the world.
Probably is.
1 second.
Shit.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's no question in that, really, is that it probably is the most visited theme park in the world.
It is, yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but
Well, I don't either, but I know it's the most
the
visited theme park.
in the world.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's going to be cranes and construction walls all over the place.
I look at
A couple of years, I think.
look at Disneyland Paris at the moment, and why we've decided not to go
Yeah.
is because of the level of construction that's going on there.
Yeah.
And it just makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just doesn't look good.
No.
Your photos look rubbish and yeah. But then again, Tiana's Bow Adventure, what was that shot for a year? There was
Yeah.
construction walls around that for a year.
Yeah, but all they did was retheme that. They weren't doing the level of building that they are for this.
Hmm.
I really hope it's not going to be like 2 years, 3 years.
Me too, but I can see it being...
So yeah, I think that's kind of it for my closing thoughts on that. Bear with, someone's at the door.
Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door. We're trying to film the podcast. Oh no. Who was it?
The postman
Oh, lovely.
with our
Bit of mail.
bit of mail. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Guess that one's yours.
That was mine. There's 2 that are mine, one's yours.
Oh, 2 for you. That's yours as well then. This one's mine.
So,
Oh, these look really nice.
they do look really good, don't they?
Yeah, these are really nice.
And now I'm happy, now that we know what they look like, I'm kind of happy to talk about it. So, we are currently in the process of launching a store with some...
Can I just put this one? Can I put this on?
Yeah. Yeah, so just while Rob's getting changed, we have decided to start a online shop with some pop culture, let's say, inspired merch within it. And we're going to be launching that very soon. It's almost ready to go.
Yeah. That's my one. Can show it.
It's very nice.
There we go.
Coco inspired.
Yeah, my Coco inspired one.
So,
It's nice. Popping it.
okay, I'll get mine out and talk about it. So yeah, we have decided to start a Disney inspired, not Disney inspired. We have decided to start a pop culture inspired online shop. You'll be able to see it all very shortly, and yeah, it's almost ready to go. We've been working on it for a while, and we're really, really excited about it. Rob's coming back over in his t-shirt now.
That
looks really good.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Use the mic out of the way. Very nice, actually. The material's very good.
Is it?
Yeah.
So these were prototypes that we ordered. So they couldn't have turned up at a better time. I didn't even know they were coming today.
No, I got an email yesterday saying they had been dispatched. So
Normally it takes a couple of days.
yeah.
I didn't pick like express shipping or anything. I know the plastic noise is probably irritating people. Sorry about that. So I ordered this one, which says, "Long live all the magic we made." If you're a fan, you'll know where that's from. And it's got Cinderella Castle, Spaceship Earth, and the Tree of Life on there.
Looks really nice.
I'm really happy with that one. And I also ordered this one, which I'm really excited to open. Yeah, so all these designs have been made by us. This is my next one, and this is the one that I was most excited to see how it came out. So I'm really hoping that it looks good.
Yes, we've been working on this for the last 5 months or so, haven't we? And just trying to come up with some designs and get our shop built. And we're at a point now where the shop is almost there, and we're just ordering ourselves some prototypes, see how they're coming out, see how they're looking.
Different quality.
Check the quality, make sure we're happy with them. And yeah, at the moment, I'm extremely happy with this.
I'm buzzing with this one. So this one says, "For a moment, I knew cosmic love and is inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot." I love it. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really good, that one. Looks nice on the blue t-shirt.
Yeah.
Probably look quite good in a lighter t-shirt as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I was
But yeah.
considering ordering it on like a white or a light grey or something, but I think I really like the colour of this one.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well happy with that. So yeah, we are going to be launching that very soon.
Yeah, so more details will come when we actually do launch the shop. But yeah, at the moment, it's just a few prototypes and we just need to finish off a little bit more to the website and all that kind of thing. But once it's all completely done, then absolutely we'll shout about it and get it launched.
We will.
But yeah, that's exciting.
Very exciting.
It's weird that came while we're
That
filming.
wasn't planned at all. I wasn't planning to talk about that, which is probably why it may be sounding a bit chaotic, but It was good. Yeah, that was good timing. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled content then. Should we move on to this or that for this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so given the information that we've had about Rip Ride Rockit, I thought we could maybe do a Universal Studios edition of this or that.
It's been very, very Universal based, this.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah. A lot
Um,
of Universal stuff going on this podcast.
so I've got 3 for you,
Cool.
and I hope that you've got 3 for me.
Yep.
Fantastic. Did his homework. Okay, should we get started?
Go for it.
Okay, so this or that, the Mummy or Gringotts? Think fast.
Gringotts.
Gringotts.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Oh yeah, so mine. Butterbeer or Flaming Moe?
Does it have to be classic butterbeer?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flaming Mo. I don't like classic butterbeer. It has to be
Really?
frozen. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to say that.
Frozen or hot? Okay, my turn. Okay, classic Universal Studios or Halloween Horror Nights Universal Studios?
Halloween Horror Nights Universal Studios.
Oh, I was not expecting you to say that.
Really?
I thought you'd want like pure Universal Studios.
There's not enough there. There's not enough going on. Not enough going on for me.
As much as I hate the stuff that gets left in the street from the scare zones, and I get that they can't take it away, although I'd love them to. I agree with you. I just didn't think you were going to say it.
So your one then, a Lard Lad donut or a Minion cake pop?
Oh, it's really hard because I love the big pink donut that we got. I'm like, oh, look, we the whole thing, and we did. But there's more choice in Minion cake pops. Minion cake pop.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the best. That was the best option.
Okay. E.T. or Transformers the Ride?
E.T.
Excellent
You
choice.
have to think of that. I didn't have to think about it.
I knew you wouldn't. Yeah, E.T. or Transformers the Ride. I knew you would pick E.T. any day.
Yeah.
Transformers is all right.
It's all right, but I feel like it's the same technology we've got over at Spider-Man.
It is.
And the Spider-Man's better than Transformers.
Spider-Man
So
very better than
I'd
Transformers.
much rather go to Islands of Adventure and ride Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then I'd come over to studios and I'd go on E.T.
Yeah. I'd rather meet Optimus Prime than ride Transformers the Ride, personally. I'd rather wait to meet Optimus Prime or Bumblebee or whoever's out than ride Transformers. If I was going to ride something like that, I'd just go and do Spider-Man, like you said.
Absolutely.
Good choice.
And then the final one I've got is Minion Mayhem or VillainCon.
Oh, you've done me dirty there because they're both rubbish. I guess I'm going to have to say Minion Mayhem. I don't like either of them, but out of the two, that's the lesser of two evils.
It is, yeah.
Because Minion Mayhem wasn't good when we did it. I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't expecting it to be like a big cinema, if I'm honest.
No, but VillainCon's terrible.
But VillainCon is shocking. Like really bad. Very Universal. It was shocking. Didn't like that at all. Never again. Yeah. Okay. That was you did me dirty on that last one. That was good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too. Lots to talk about in there. Really enjoyed talking about the Rip Ride Rocket stuff. That I actually enjoyed talking about that a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I did too.
So I just couldn't shut myself up.
And I enjoyed kind of getting a bit more into the Frontierland stuff as well and exploring that and what that's going to potentially bring to the park. I think we know that there's numerous reasons for it. We've just got to wait and see now what they actually do with it. I don't think they're going to spoil Magic Kingdom. But, over the years, we probably are going to see updates that we might not like because we have grown up with the classics and there's a new generation of Disney fans coming through that like the newer stuff. So I guess it's just natural progression, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So while we're on the subject of the shop, as that delivery couldn't have been timed any better, we have also decided to launch memberships through our YouTube channel. So we totally understand that might not be something that's for everybody, but if that is a way that you would like to support us, if you've enjoyed our content, you've been with us for a long time, if you'd like to support us in some way, that is something that is going to be available very soon. It's priced at $2.99 a month.
Yep.
And there's various benefits that you get for that. Part of that is discount off our online store.
Yeah. So if you are a member, then you'll get discount off the store.
You will. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in. We totally understand that might not be for everybody, but if that is a way that you would like to support us, then we would be really grateful for anybody that would. But like I said, it's not something that we would expect.
No.
But the option's there for anybody that would.
We just enjoy making the content, to be quite honest.
We love making the content.
Yeah.
We love talking to you guys when we meet you guys in the parks.
Yeah.
We love chatting over social media with people. So yeah,
We're just looking for a way to expand our channel and push ourselves a bit further and grow further and further. So
Yeah.
we're just looking at more things that we can do to get involved with something that we absolutely love.
yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts to add before we close the podcast?
Not at all.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's a wrap on this episode of Exit Through the Gift Shop. So thanks for hanging out with us.
If you enjoyed the ride, make sure you follow, subscribe, and maybe leave a review if you're feeling nice. It helps other theme park nerds and pop culture fans find us.
Got a question, hot take, or random thought? Let us know. We love hearing what you guys are thinking.
And don't forget to check us out over on YouTube at It's Robin Matt for even more theme park adventures.
So until next time, stay magical, stay chaotic, and as always, exit through the gift shop.